My parents have been a huge influence on my career. Both of them played for Ireland hockey team, and they've always been incredibly supportive. They followed me across here to England, and yeah, every step along the way they're always coming to tournaments and watching my games.
My mum. It's got to be my mum, because I mean, she was everywhere. She was the one doing all the mileage in the car, taking me to every sport I wanted to. Yeah, racking up some serious miles, and she's a phone call away, and I'm a very homey person. I get very homesick, and I'm 26 years old, so I think my mum's my biggest support in kind of all walks of life.
Probably my dad and my brother, early doors. Yeah, I just remember playing with them, you know, all day, every day. My dad was my coach as well for a while, and a teacher at my school. And yeah, I'm not sure I'd be where I am now without my brother Johnny being so good as well.
My brother's been a massive inspiration for me growing up, and being able to follow in his footsteps is really, really special for me.
Mum, dad, brother have kind of been a huge part in my career. I remember my first ever game for King's Heath. My brother got substituted off for me, which he kind of threw a bit of a tantrum at. And it was brilliant. Got to play that day with my dad and my brother.
It has to be my parents. Alongside that would have to be my 3 brothers and 1 sister. I think anyone that's in a sporting family or as a sportsman or sportswoman, they have to have a family around them that support them. You don't understand sort of the driving your parents have to do, the times when your siblings have to go on family holidays to simply watch you play hockey, and without them I certainly wouldn't be standing here today.
Both parents, I think they both sacrificed loads of hours driving me to games and training throughout sort of growing up. And also my cousin, he plays for Canada, and he's been sort of an international hockey player throughout my whole sort of childhood, so having him as a role model was really good as well.
I'd probably say my mum, even though she's the most unsporty person going. Like, I've never seen her run and she can't swim. But I think just her ability to just keep going and getting back up and going again, and her belief in me.
Again, my parents, the amount of time they've committed, given up to help me get to where I am today, and still give up, and obviously everyone knows how committed my parents are to making sure they've got something, whether it be a flag, a t-shirt, screaming the house down, some clappers or whatever they want to bring.
Probably the person who got me playing hockey, my PE teacher Rosie Price. I'd probably say without her introducing hockey at my junior school, probably would never have started playing hockey. So yeah.
There's probably a guy called Jimmy McKenna, who's probably my first proper coach. He kind of gave me real confidence to kind of just go out and play and not worry about anything else. He probably has had the biggest impact on my career, for sure.
My coach, Tone Seaman, when I went over to Holland, he was my club coach out there, and he opened my eyes to the vast tactical and technical knowledge that they do have over in Holland, and really believed in me as a player, which helped me believe in myself more.
I think a woman called Janet Jack, she was at the first club that I went to, and she really motivated me to push on with my hockey and to go far.
Firstly, I think Mike Follen, he was my school coach when I was at primary school. He took basically myself as the only hockey player with a few footballers to a national final at mini hockey, under 7-a-side hockey.
I think the person that's had the biggest influence on my career is Danny Carey. He's the person that gave me my debut in 2008, and he was my international coach from 2008 to 2018. So I'm very fortunate that because of him I've been able to achieve and go to many tournaments.
Probably recently I'd say Revs, because I'd never experienced a coach like him in my life. Like, he's so unique, but he really made me drive to want to be in the squad and to do this as like a lifestyle. And
then I'd have to say Graham Griffiths has just been, the pillar at Beeston, and has always been there through the highs and lows. I owe a lot to Graham.
Do you know what, I would probably say that Rosie Davies, my PE teacher, just purely because of the fact that she showed me how much more there is to hockey outside of school hockey. So if it hadn't been for her to take the time to introduce me to the club scene and show me what's out there, and kind of giving me the time to spend with these guys that were playing at the very top level, so my aspirations just grew immediately. I'm very grateful for that moment from her, so yeah, it would be her.
For a hockey sense, I would just say someone like Jerry De Beer at Rossall School, who went out of his way day in and day out to help me and make sure I improved, and certainly wouldn't be the player I am now without him.
Probably the most influential person is probably Kevin Johnson. He is both my Hawk and club coach, but has also been the Wales coach for the last 5 years. I remember when he came into the Wales environment before I was involved with GB, and he said that we were going to gear the programme towards people being enabled to move into the GB pathway, and that's something that within Wales hadn't really been a possibility at the time. And I guess it really opened my eyes to the fact that it could actually happen if I worked hard enough. And he really, I think, opened the door to that possibility.
My closest mates, who still come over to watch, pretty much introduced me to the sport, keep me fairly well grounded whenever we're on TV, and I owe a lot to those guys for being able to be at the level that I am.